Our adventure begins here, in the marsh, throwing a cast net, looking for some bait. Well, I opened up the net all right. See if we get anything in this throw. Bunch of small fish. Small stuff. Grass shrimp. And this local fish that I've never seen anywhere else. I think they're a hybrid of mosquito fish and mud minnows, or maybe they're just really big mosquito fish. But anyway, they're too small for what I'm looking for. I've caught trout and flounder on them before. But really, I'm looking for larger fish today. So I need larger baits. See the tall back and the big belly? Some relative of mosquito fish. Anyway, I throw them back because I do not need them. I got lucky. Here's a finger mullet. Just got the one. So it's not really enough, but it'll be a start to my fishing. With that single bait, I embark on my journey. I've got some shrimp at least that I can use to catch more bait on hooks. First stop, I find this big rattlesnake. Man, you do not want to tangle with one of these guys. They will put you right into the hospital. Now, here is a wild edible. A cactus loaded with pears. Cactus pears. So I take one of them and figure I'll have myself a snack. Those thorns will get you, so you gotta be careful. Now I begin my fishing. Found a spot that looked fishable. So cast out some rods. First the bait rods with small circle hooks and pieces of shrimp. Looks like I got my first bait. So this fish is a second-rate bait. I don't recommend people use them unless you got nothing else. At this point, I don't have much else, so I gotta keep them for now. But it's a silver sea trout. Not a speckled sea trout. Not a yellowmouth trout. Silver sea trout. Some people call them sand trout. I've never really caught much on them, but it's better than nothing. So throw them in the bucket, and I keep fishing for more bait. So now I got a double header. Got a saltwater catfish, hardhead catfish, goes by a couple different names. Not my first choice of bait either, but a shark will definitely take them, and at this point, I am needing some larger baits, so I figure I'll use this guy as shark bait. And the second fish I got on that rig was a southern kingfish. Some people call these whiting, but they're different than the surf whiting. I've also heard them called ground mullet or sea mullet. I like to call them ground mullet, southern kingfish. They do look like a surf whiting, but they've actually got teeth. When you open their mouth, they've got these little teeth. So it's this guy's lucky day. I can throw him back because I prefer those other two baits. Something about those silver sea trout, I just have never had any luck on them, even for sharks. I don't normally use catfish as bait either, but beggars cannot be choosers. I rebait that bait rig because I am still not happy with what I've got as bait. I'm starving for bait. You can see I've got that buff on, that neck protector. That is really for the bugs. There was a lot of no-see-ums, and they're really going after my neck. So I wear that. It's kind of like a sock for your head or for your neck. Works pretty well. Helps you with the sun too. So now it's time to start fishing for larger stuff. Got the catfish cut in half. And it's time to hook them up. I just put the large circle hook through the top of its mouth. Through some bone too, so it won't come off the hook as easy. And the rig that I'm using is a modified fish finder rig. So I've got my 4-ounce pyramid with the sinker slide. And I've got about 4 foot of 80-pound mono coming off of that. And then I've got my short piece of steel single strand wire. So that's to accommodate for sharks or bluefish, something with teeth on it. If you're fishing for larger sharks, you are really going to want much longer of that heavy mono leader. I was expecting the sharks in this area to be maybe 3 to 4 foot. You could get a spinner, which if they jump, maybe they could wrap their tail in your line. So the longer the better. I just haven't seen any spinners out here, so figured I'd take a chance with only about 4 foot of that mono. I've got that catfish casted out, got the ground mullet casted out, and I waited 2 hours. And I did not see any action. So I got to the point where I said it's time to reel this in, and if my bait is still there, I'm going home, because that is a bad sign. I reel in, I got nothing on there. Just some weeds. And my rig even gets tangled in this grass here, so I'm shaking it to get it out. It comes out. But the head of that southern kingfish, aka ground mullet, is still on my hook. It's time to go. So at least I know when to quit, right? And that's fishing for you. You're not always going to catch anything notable. Sometimes it's just a day in the outdoors. Going on a journey, finding bait, seeing snakes, eating cactus pears. I'll see you guys on the next one.